real estate agents. Welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with Joey Sampaga, the man with the plan. How are you doing, Joey?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Hey, we have a guest with us today that's doing things a little bit different than the average real estate agent. So we're gonna dive into that. And our guest with us today is Nate Randleman with Remax Infinity and White Fig Homes. How's it going, Nate?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So you do things a little bit different. We're going to dive into that and really explain to the agents that are listening right now how you're doing business differently, maybe how you transition from more of a regular real estate type career to what's really taking off for you now. So I'm going to start with a few questions that are just going to get us straight to how you got into the business and what compelled you to get in the business and how long is really where we want to start. So you want to share that with the listeners?
So yeah, I've got in the business when I was 20 years old, June of 2005. And what compelled me to get into real estate, for one, I was a junior in college, and I read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which
That's a good book.
changed my mindset towards real estate. My dad was always a real estate broker, and so I knew it from his point of view. And when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it kind of opened my eyes to the investment potential that came from real estate, as well as the ability to make a good income right away.
Got it. So how long ago was that?
2004 is
2004.
when... Yeah.
Okay. So one of the latest ones I read from him, I believe, was Why We Want You to Be Rich. I think it was a Donald Trump book, too, wasn't it? Trump and Kiyosaki. Anyway, sometimes I can ramble on, but we can talk about that after the fact. So do you mind sharing with, so let's see, if you started when you were 20, what did you do before that? Was it full-time student? What did you do
I was a
before that?
full-time student at ASU, and I was a server in a restaurant here in Chandler.
Okay. All right. I served tables through college myself. It definitely helped pay the bills. Weekend tips, right?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. So let's jump into some of the real estate stuff. So tell us a little bit about the makeup of your real estate business, and also kind of walk the listeners through how you broke into real estate.
So the makeup of my real estate business today, a partner and I own a real estate investment company called White Fig Homes.
Okay.
We buy 14 to 15 homes a month with the intent to remodel them and resell them. And then we put 13 to 15 homes on the market each month to resell.
That's good volume.
Yep.
Wow. So now you're doing that now. However, that was not what you did prior to, right?
No.
So you spent a lot of time in the trenches before
Yep.
that, right?
Yeah, I got into real estate at 20, didn't have any of my own capital, and I didn't know the market here locally. So I grew up in Seattle, Washington, so I'd only been in Arizona for about 8 months. And so I figured the best way that I was ever going to be able to do my own investments was to first get experience with how buyers and sellers in regular real estate work.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what would you say? So when you first were getting into the business, or when you're doing the, through the trenches, let's say the traditional real estate, what do you think were some of your biggest obstacles then, especially as a young guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
What were some of the biggest obstacles, and what did you do to overcome some of those things?
Well, for me, the biggest obstacle at 20, I looked like I was 14 when I was 20.
I was going to say, you look like you're 20 still.
Right.
And if you're watching the video, you can see how young Nate looks here.
Yeah. So I did not know anybody outside of the people I went to college with who weren't getting ready to buy a home. I didn't know the market. I didn't know the area. I didn't know the market. I didn't know anybody. So it was incredibly challenging to get in. But it forced me to not rely on referrals, and it forced me to learn how to go find new business, which ultimately was a huge blessing.
So what were some of the things that you would do to go find that new business?
Well, I tried to put myself in the consumer's shoes and said, if I'm going to go buy or sell a home, what am I looking for in a real estate agent? And so I identified pretty easily that for me to compete with other listing agents was going to be very difficult. But for me to identify as a great buyer's specialist,
Yeah.
who at 20 had no family obligations and I was available 24/7, I thought that buyers just wanted an agent who knew the market well but was available. And so I put all my focus on just trying to find buyers to work with.
Now, with real estate, what we all know this as being in real estate, we all know that a lot of times when an agent gets their license, they think they're going to do all this, make all this money, right? But we also know there's a very high percentage of them that don't make it to that second year even, or through that second year. What do you think are some of the things that agents do to make them fail or to give up?
Well, I know what they are because I almost did it myself. When you get into the business, especially now with even podcasts, you can listen to 2 days worth of podcasts and have 15, 20 different ways to make $300,000-$400,000 a year in real estate. So it's information overload when you get in, and it causes you to not have a focus at all. And so you can dabble in this marketing plan and then that marketing plan and this way to prospect and that, and then 10 to 12 months in, you've done 4 sales. I've seen other agents who get in naive. They learn one way to do it. They model one agent, and 6, 7, 8 months in, they're closing 3 and 4 deals every month because they've made their focus so small, and it in turn made their business so big.
Their focus was so small. Got it. So as far as the failure, it's just that maybe it's that whole shiny object syndrome. Is that what we're kind of saying?
Be. Yeah, it's almost you see too many different ways to lose weight, and so you're never committed to anything. And it's the same with real estate sales. You go to a new office with 50 agents, all who produce pretty well, who all do it differently.
Yeah.
There's no substitute for hard work. And when it's time to start working hard in the little niche that you've chosen, it gets difficult, and you easily can switch to something else, knowing that it works for somebody else.
Yeah.
And in turn, you just keep bouncing back and forth, and you never really dig deep into one thing. So I think to make your business big, you need to make your focus small.
I agree. Yeah, I think that was definitely an epic fail. Don't you think, Joey? The bouncing around from place to place or thing to thing is definitely
epic fail.
Absolutely. So we got to throw some things in there every now and then to kind of just, break things up a little. So what advice then? So it sounds like the advice you're giving to someone who's maybe new to the business, don't bounce around to everything, but I like what you said, having a very narrow focus, that you can do more business or make more connections if you focus on one thing.
Yep. If you're going to do open houses better than anybody in town. If you're going to call for sale by owners, do that and do it better than anybody.
Got it.
So pick your niche and go after it.
I love that. Pick your niche. That's a touchdown. Absolutely it is. So let's transition into what has made you successful. Share what's made you successful on the... I mean, you have a lot of transactions happening, a lot of house or flipping these homes, right? So what has made you successful with that part of the business now?
It's a good question. One was identifying how can I consistently buy enough property at a discount that not many other people know exist, because we buy 95% of what we buy is not in front of the average consumer. So it's having consistent, consistent networking with other people in the industry. There's a lot of deals that go back and forth between investor to investor.
Okay.
And so I want to be the first investor that other investors think about if they've got a property they're trying to sell. That with that comes a lot of work.
Right.
But to be that, same for if you can be the number one realtor that somebody thinks about.
Right.
When they're thinking about buying a home, you've already won. It's the same exact principle that I had as a realtor that I've transitioned over to being the investor. I want to be the first investor that anybody thinks about when they think of someone who's going to buy a house to fix up.
All right. Well, okay. A lot of agents are listening right now. Are you going to give them like a secret tip or something?
Well, there isn't really a secret sauce to what I'm doing.
Okay, all right. But you said there are things out there. So how do agents? I mean, I'm assuming I don't know exactly how you're finding all the deals that you're finding, but is it strictly just the network that you've built?
It really is.
Okay. Okay.
I don't buy directly from a seller unless a different agent has come to me knowing that I do investments and said,
Okay.
I've got a property that it's too bad a condition to go on the market. Would you be interested in buying it?
Okay. Okay.
But I don't have some special marketing plan that
All right.
brings all the sellers.
I thought I would ask. You never know. I'm sure people are saying, "What's the secret? What's the secret pill? What do we need to do?"
The secret pill is to stay consistent in networking with other people.
There you go. Good. No, that's great. That's great. Okay, so you heard that. Secret sauce or pill or whatever you want to call it is networking. So it really comes down to hard work. It's a lot of hard work, isn't it?
It is, and it's consistent work.
Yeah.
It's not hard from a brain power standpoint. It's hard to make yourself do the right thing every day over and over again, even when we were buying 4 and 5 houses every month. I didn't get comfortable there. I just continued to do the right things day in and day out, and it's organically grown to a bigger number than I thought possible initially.
All right. Well, I tried, if you're listening, agents, to get something out of him that you could take. Anyway, it's been great information. It is time to get on to the next section, which is Get in the Ring with the Maniacs. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. What's the best advice anyone has ever given you?
To voice gratitude, I think, is some of the best advice I ever got. I just heard it said that if you don't voice gratitude, it's the same as not being grateful at all.
I like that.
And then 2 would be take action.
Awesome. No, I like those a lot. What is your favorite mobile app?
Just because I work on a laptop, my phone, and an iPad, I use Evernote all the time instead of a yellow pad.
Good.
It just syncs with everything.
Yeah, the yellow pad. That's funny. I just mentioned, I can't remember who it was I was talking to, but it was about how a lot of agents over the years I've met, that's kind of sometimes their CRM.
I still use a yellow pad every day.
Do you? Okay.
For a to-do list.
List.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. But Evernote definitely helps you keep things focused,
Evernote
right?
has been the place that I can come back to find something. You can search within it very easily. It's really cheap. It's great.
Awesome. So share with the listeners one book that you would recommend.
The one book that I recommend is the Bible. But outside of that, the book that changed my life the most was when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad for the first time.
No, it's a great read. Quick read. People need to probably revisit that again, I would say. Name one productivity tool or software you use every day. I know you mentioned Evernote. Is that kind of the one, or do you have something else?
I have, for my goals for 2017, I keep in Evernote, and I review those every Monday morning. But a productivity tool sometimes is to do less and have less in front of me. So I'll start each day on a piece of paper writing the 3 most important things I need to get done that day. And so that's not brand new information, but it keeps you, instead of writing 60 different things and overwhelm yourself, 3 things that I need to get done today, what would they be to make the day a success?
Yeah.
It's simple, but it works.
Absolutely. There's a book out there called Essentialism, and that's the very thing. It's how do you minimize all the things right down to the ones that you truly need to get done.
Yep.
All right, so now we're going to go ahead and have Nate draw a question from the mask. Go ahead and do that.
This is beautiful. What is that, velvet?
I like that one. Oh, gosh.
Who was your favorite singer or band in high school? My favorite was 2. I had DC Talk. Most people probably don't know that name, and then The Killers.
The Killers.
The Killers.
All right.
And his favorite book is the Bible.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. No, that's awesome. I appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for sharing some insight into what you're doing now that, that's a little bit different than what most agents are doing, but it sounds like you took that traditional route, and then now have kind of redefined and like you say, maybe being more focused on the one thing, right?
Yep.
So we appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Again, this is Nate. Do you want to, if anybody wanted to reach out and say hi, do you want to share some contact information with anybody?
I'm going to give everybody a chance to be proactive, and you can find my information online in about
There we
3
go.
seconds.
Nate Randleman with Remax. Awesome, Nate. Thanks so much. And as always, I have Joey here, and we're going to be signing off as the Maniacs. Until next time, real estate agents, this is Jeff Underwood, Joey Sampaga with the Maniacs, and Security Title Studios, theweeklycloser.com. Take care.